Yo, welcome to the long and short. It's your boy Maestro. Thanks for tuning in. Every day we aim to give you guys some price action trading techniques and some education to try to make you a better trader in the crypto market. Thanks for tuning in. If you like this type of content, go ahead, like, subscribe to the channel, share, hit the bell notification. You'll be notified when we post content, and we're trying to do it on the daily. So thanks for tuning in. All right, let's talk about this really quickly. We're going to start here and we're going to come full circle back to this particular article here. Case for Bitcoin bottom near 40K is weak as institutions stay away. We'll talk about why they're staying away and how we can actually take advantage of things that are happening in the market today, because we have and we will continue to exploit this market for what it gives us. All right, so let's take a look at Bitcoin for what it is today. All sideways action. We said this from last week that we think that price is probably going to stay within this range, right? We thought any pushes up are going to push us right back down into any ranges that we were currently trading in, right? So we have the low of the range established. Okay, and this points directly back to previous lows that were set. So we're right here, guys. All right, now if we think this is the bottom, which I don't necessarily think it is, we're acting like 40K is going to be the protected level, but there's just really one touch here and another one here. In my opinion, this is too clean of a level for price to respect. In my opinion, price wants to come lower than this, okay, into potentially the $38,000 range. That would scare a lot of traders. All right, so this is what we're anticipating for price, simply because it's not really expanding out of this range and the trading is slowing down a bit, okay? The volume's decreasing. When you get all of this, you're going to get compacted into very tight ranges, then you're going to see that explosion. So when I see doji days like this, right, I'm understanding what's going on. This was over the weekend. There really was no price action, right? But we did take a trade. We were able to pull about 260 bucks out of this market, okay? So let me pull up this PowerPoint because this actually shows you the play. When you come into this, you're going to see basically where I started versus where I finished, okay? And my thought process and what I was doing. Remember, when we're in a range, we're trying to trade exploitations in that range, essentially stop runs, or when traders get dragged in and then price reverses on them, okay? We want to be part of that reversal of price. So whenever you're in a range, you're looking for one or two things, either liquidity to get grabbed, which is stop losses and limit orders, or you're looking for imbalances to be filled if the liquidity's already been ran. So the way you find liquidity is at the tops and bottoms, equal highs, equal lows. Doesn't matter whether it's 1 touches, 2 touches, 4 touches, 10 touches, okay? If the levels are equal, there's tons of liquidity sitting at those levels. That's how you find liquidity. The imbalance is in the actual candles themselves, okay? What I was looking for here, since price had pushed up and taken this liquidity, right, I got in just a bit early. I should have waited a bit because price did put me in a bit of a drawdown, okay, because this is where the short was entered. Now, my drawdown came in, but I was pretty confident in the trade, and I'm going to show you guys why I was confident in this trade moving forward in a little bit. There's a pretty cool tool that I use called Tensor Charts, which gives me an idea on whether or not I've made the right directional pick in regards to the trade. So once I saw price break above these highs here, which are kind of hidden, and then it started to push down, I had a lot more confidence in that trade. So as price pushed down, there was a level of imbalance here on a higher time frame candle that I knew price was going to go to. Came directly here, okay? Once it got here, and it got to the bottom of it, my objective was achieved. Biggest thing about trading, especially scalping, is once you achieve your objective, get out of the way. Right? Take your profits. That's one thing that a lot of traders have a hard time doing, figuring out a way to take their profits, right? So I actually scaled out in 3 positions here. The first one, I took my profit at the bottom of the imbalance, right? So that was $197 taken, 80%, right? And then the second level I took was at $40, 10% taken. Now we touched the order block. In all reality, I should have taken the rest of the 20% here, but I said, hey, you know what? Price is angling downwards. All of the pressure is down. So if I catch an area where price pushed up and I was able to catch it at a relatively good spot, I want to see how much I can ride if the pressure is moving the way of my trade, right? The high time frame pressure, the long-term pressure is bearish. So if I catch a good high point or a retracement point in price, I want to ride that as much as I can, right? But when I get to important levels, and if we've been in a range, it's fair to take profit at these levels. So this was right at the top of that order block, that green area that we showed in price, okay? Now, price kissed that and bounced right off of it. Once I saw it, that we had a strong reaction off the top of the order block, the play was over. right? You take the third piece of profit, which was only 23 bucks at that point, and then the bulls reassume power. This is the way that price moves in ranges, right? So you can see here, price breaks a low here and a low here, violates it, and then starts to rise again. So it proves true on both sides, right, guys? I mean, ultimately, if you're in a range, these plays that we're talking about, they're going to work. They're going to work. You just have to know when to catch them. Now, we see this on the chart, and I can actually pull this up on the 15 minutes so that you guys can see that this was a real play. We're on TradingView right now, and I'll just scroll out a bit so that we can try to find these arrows. They should be somewhere here. Where's our paper trading? All right, so this was the actual play. These are the profits that were taken, right? You guys can see we're not playing around here, guys. Like we're here to trade. We're here to take green days, mostly, if not only. Let's dive in a bit deeper, because how do we have the confidence that this was actually going to play out, right? How do we know that this was going to happen? Well, I use a tool called Tensor Charts. Now, Tensor Charts looks very confusing when you first look at it, but there's a few things here that I want to point out that will help you as a trader, okay? Whenever you enter a position, the first thing that you start to worry about when you trade is, am I right? And all it takes is for price to move just a little bit against you in order to make you get scared, right? And get out of the trade. You may put a stop loss in, etc. And if price runs against your stop loss or starts to move towards it, then you're going to get scared. You may pull out early. How do you have the confidence to stay in the trade, especially if you're new at doing something like this? Tensor Charts helps you answer this question, okay? So I'm going to lay this out very quickly for you guys, and we'll do a deeper tutorial into this for the most part. But, we're just going to do a high-level overview right now. What I'm looking at is bullish, bearish activity from whales and retail traders. First level is whether or not retail traders are buying or selling Bitcoin, okay, and which levels they're doing at. And then the next level down, I start to look at the whales. Anyone buying or selling over 0.25 Bitcoin, then 1 Bitcoin, then 2 Bitcoin, and I'm doing it every 5 and 20-minute interval. This gives me a gauge on how orders are coming in and which areas they're coming in from, okay? Then I also track the hour, the 4-hour, and the daily, sort of the same way. How much volume is being stacked on either side? That's what this gives me. Also, I have a classic order book here, but the way that you can break this down and highlight levels of volatility or highlight levels of volume is very important, right? Because when price moves, it's going to move towards these levels. And at the end of the day, if we see a level is too strong to break through based on what the bulls are doing, right? If a bearish level is too strong to break through based on what the bulls are putting up on the table, then we can have confidence in a short, which is what I saw the other day. So these will give you areas to align to what you're seeing on price charts in order for you to make the proper plays, okay? Now, this is a very high level overview. We're going to dive very deep into this, but I want you guys to be aware that this is a free tool that you can use right now, okay? And probably the easiest way for you to use this is to set up areas of support and resistance, okay? Trend lines and a lot of different EMAs and all of that stuff is going to confuse you if you're new to trading, okay? What you really want to do is watch for levels. So what this also assists you in doing, let's take a look at Doge right here, right? Most people want to know what's going on with Doge. With Dogecoin has been being trapped in ranges as well, okay? Now, if I want to know sort of the most volume at certain parts or certain price points in Doge, this is very easy to find here, okay? Now, what I do is I scroll out all the way to where I'm just getting the full cent amount, right? So 20 cents, 21 cents, 22, 23, you can see that here, right? Now, on this scale, I look for the highest levels of volume. So right now, the most volume for Doge is sitting at 23 cents, 22 cents. Below price, it's sitting at 16 cents. So the way that you interpret this, right, is you look below the line here to the right. Look below the line to see what the volume is. So at 16 cents, you have 43 million Doge ready to be bought, okay? At 15 cents, you have 27 million Doge ready to be bought, okay? Now, where's your pressure going to come from? The top side. You can literally buy at 17 to 16 cents, but once it hits 22 to 23 cents, you may start to really see some resistance in price, and you can see that reflected in the charts here, right? Now, we've been doing something called setting up discount premium zones, etc. Seeing this here, let's take a look on whether or not they actually align to the price charts in the way that we drew them. Okay. Now, I always have to preference this part by telling people that this is not financial advice. This is the way that we view the markets. Okay. And the way that we set up these zones is pretty simple. We're looking for areas of discount and areas of premium. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and scroll out to the daily, because this is where we see this at. So you want to do this on a higher time frame. Okay. Now, if we look at Doge is trading essentially in a discount. These two areas here are what we call discount. These two areas above is what we call premium. Right now, we said last week Doge is trading at a discount. Doge had a bit of a bump, you know, based on the Elon Musk news. Now let's blow this up just a bit so that folks can see it. Now, the first level of resistance that we see here is sitting at 23.86. If we go to Tensor Charts and look at the same thing, where do we see the areas of resistance? Right at 23. So this does align, right? So we can find some confidence in what we're seeing here in these levels. So again, let's go ahead and cut through some altcoins. We're going to preface this again by saying that this is not financial advice. This is the way that we view the market, and these are areas where we will be buying and selling. Okay, so again, the two areas below are discount, the two areas above are premium. We have Dogecoin here trading at a discount. Let's continue to flow through our altcoins here. Chainlink itself is also trading at a discounted zone. I would say Chainlink is still a good buy anywhere under 30 bucks to 25 bucks. Right now it's trading at 24.5. Store J is also a good buy at anything under $2.15. So right now currently trading at $1.60 in the discounted zone. Filecoin, very suppressed price. I think Filecoin is a coin that can really explode once it starts to see some bullish activity. It's very cheap compared to the all-time high, which is at 237 bucks. Again, your zones are much higher here when it comes to opportunity for this coin. So Filecoin is one that we're going to call out to say there's a pretty red flashing light opportunity here if in fact this coin does have the ability to push higher. All right. For Engine token, again, we are trading in a discounted zone for Engine. Engine has been on sort of a down pull for the past few weeks, and I would say that this is a good buy still, right? Metaverse, we understand, is here to stay, and these are the type of tokens that you want to be into. So anything under $2.80 is a buy for Engine token, if you ask me. Algorand, again, under the midline here at $1.46. So I would say that Algorand is a good buy, but once you're really close to these zones here, I would say that you want to not necessarily jump in too tough, right? The way that you would play these zones, or the way that I would play them, is buy little here and more on the way down, right? You want to go ahead and sort of buy as things are moving on the way down. And then once price starts to reverse, right, the positions that you bought down here, you'll be able to sell them off. Eventually, once you come into premium, you'll be in a good position to sell off the majority of whatever you bought on the way down in these discount zones. This is the way you want to play it, guys, right? So we always tell people, never buy up here, because these are the people who feel burned right now. These are the people who feel like they've made the wrong trade right now. The folks, anyone who bought down here is in a much better position, right? So again, we're setting levels for these things so that we don't get caught on the wrong side of the market. Algorand, anything under $1.46 is a buy for us. GRT, again, the graph trading in a discounted zone. Anything lower level is a pretty good buy. CRV starting to come down off the all-time high, and we can see here it's starting to get rejected off of the top premium level. Viewing the market like this gives you guys a lot of perspective on where the higher prices are versus the lower prices. If we're looking to get back into CRV, we're going to get into it somewhere under $3 and maybe 70 cents, right? That's the target for CRV. Cardano, very bullish movement over the weekend, right? We saw big percentage moves from Cardano. And again, we said last week, Cardano, super discounted zone. We don't think it's going to fall any lower than this, right? So you have equal lows here. Price didn't violate those lows, and it bounced off of it very aggressively from a discount zone to a higher zone, right? So we want to watch and see if this can continue to rise. But this was one that we called out last week as a good buy. Polkadot, let's just run through these quickly. Again, trading in a discount, good buy anywhere under $32, I would say. Shiba Inu, again, creeping closer and closer to our major discount zone. This may actually play these lower ranges here. In my opinion, though, it may actually go for these imbalances here, right? For Shiba Inu to balance itself in the market and to give people a better opportunity to get back in, I would say that it will want to come here rather than just stall out here, right? So that's what I'm looking for Shiba Inu. Bottom of the discount zone, definitely a good buy. For Matic, Matic is trading at a premium, so we're not looking to get into this. In fact, if you have some Matic bags, this is still a good time to get off some of that and take some profit, we would say. All right, Sandbox. Again, we haven't drawn the chart for Sandbox yet. We were playing with a lot of other tools this weekend, but I would say that this is still at a premium zone. Okay, so Sandbox not necessarily the one that I would get into. I would say Engine's a better buy for Metaverse at the moment. All right, for XRP, again, trading in a discounted zone and angling downwards, right? Anything under 65 cents, though, seems to be bought up quickly as of late. So we are trading with that mind frame. Okay, we're looking for XRP around 65 cents or a little bit better before we get into it. I think it has the power to push down and actually make that happen. So that's what we're watching for XRP. For Solana, again, if we were to draw this out, which I didn't, excuse me for doing that, I would say that Solana, again, trading in a premium rather than a discount. All right, so we're not necessarily looking to get into Solana for today. We want to see it drop a little bit lower. Let's say maybe 130 is a good buy for Solana. All right, Mana again, trading in a brief discounted zone, same as Engine token. So again, I would say that this is relatively good buy. I would want to see it come a little bit lower to these equal lows here before I would be a lot more aggressive in this market. All right, but we are trading in a discounted zone for Mana. Harmony 1, trading at a premium again, trying to break the all-time high. So when you're seeing things like this in the market, I wouldn't necessarily FOMO in. Again, once this breaks, we'll have a true range if it does. If not, then we'll stay within this range and we'll be buying Harmony anywhere under maybe 20 cents. That's a good buy. Okay. Now, Starlink, again, Metaverse token that we're looking at, is also having a bit of a bounce over the weekend, was trading at a major discounted zone, and I think this does have a lot of room to run because as you can see here, it's taken out both levels of liquidity here, the equal lows, as well as the imbalance for the most part. It could come back down a little bit more depending on the rest of the crypto market, but I think that this has a lot of room to run to the upside, and this is a token right now that is currently trading at 0.0002 cents. All right, so we'll start to take a look at more coins that are trading as low as this. This is Shiba Inu numbers for the most part, right? So some opportunity here because this is a Metaverse token, and I think that there is some upside here that we can take a look at. We'll skip Secret token for now, and we'll go right into Live Peer, which again is a competitor to Data. They are working on some blockchain streaming, networking, that type of thing. And I do like the project, but they are trading at a discount as well. Again, I do like to see prices snatch liquidity from the bottom side before they continue higher. And that's what I'm looking for as this price continues to move down. Once it does that, we will take a buy. Okay, that's what we see in the altcoin market. And again, this is not financial advice. This is just what we see from the long and short perspective. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and dive into the futures charts just to take a brief look at what's happening here. Again, open interest is high. The retail traders are snuggling closer to the zero line, which means that they're coming off of those long positions, right? People are losing faith in Bitcoin going up. The larger speculators, though, are starting to move closer to that zero line, and commercials are starting to push off of it to the downside. This is bullish, okay, guys? So again, they're going to exploit whatever position we take. And whatever, this is the way it works, right? We take a position, that makes the large speculators take a position, which makes the commercials push them one way or the other, right? So this is ultimately what we want to see. We want to see us start to come closer to the zero line. The large speculators pop above it, and the commercials push net short. If you see this type of action where these lines do this, you can expect to see a lot more bullish activity, right? Some major buys coming in from larger institutions. But right now, they're a little scared. We're going to talk about this article in a second and sort of bring this full circle. All right. If we come down to our elder ray, we still see that bulls still don't have control of this market the way that they want. The bears still have pretty firm control in regards to where they're pushing price. Money flow, though, is starting to come in. You're starting to see some inflows of money. Momentum is picking up. The PVT, OBV, still angling downwards, which gives us bearish indications. Accumulation distribution essentially starting to trade within a range. Okay, so that's what we're seeing in futures. Let's go ahead and dive into the heat map. Looking like a pretty red day so far. Things have been sort of bleeding out since last night, and we may continue to see this type of price action for the rest of the day. It is a holiday, so that's what we may see here. Okay. Moving into the top 10, we have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Binance Coin at 3, Tether at 4, Cardano at 5, USD Coin at 6, Solana at 7, XRP at 8, Terra Luna at 9, and Polkadot rounding off the top 10. Below that, you have Dogecoin, Avalanche, Shiba Inu at 14, Polygon at 13, and Binance USD at 15. Okay, so let's talk about this article for a second, and this is going to bring us full circle here. Case for Bitcoin bottom near 40K is weak as institutions stay away. One observer said traders may be better off trading Bitcoin volatility than taking directional bets. We said this a couple of weeks ago, right? Or a week ago. If price is in a range, it's going to continue to seek liquidity within that range. If price isn't breaking out of that range, then we can trade that range, which is why that trade worked for us the other day, right? All we did was wait for liquidity to get grabbed. We saw some imbalance to the opposite side and we took advantage of it. That's the trade, okay? But what we're looking at here is the fact that institutions are having a hard time figuring out which way Bitcoin is going. Here's why. There's no one to talk to. They can't call up Satoshi Nakamoto and say, hey, how's your balance sheet looking this week? Which is what they can do for a company or any other entity that they're trading on futures, okay? Commodities markets, it's the same way. They have people they can call. There's long-term history they can look at. Bitcoin's only 13 years old. These guys don't know how to trade this yet, which is what the institutions are telling us. If they're not taking positions in futures and they're dropping off, it means that they were wrong about some things, okay? If everyone was telling us that Bitcoin is going to 100K, guys bet on that. And they're wrong right now. And so if they're wrong and they took a loss, they're not going to go and put on very large positions moving forward. They want to see what price actually does. They're still studying this asset. There's not enough data yet. With all of that being said, this is why you're seeing the stagnation of price. The institutions are waiting to see what position the retail traders take to take the opposite position. I'm not an influencer yet, but I can tell the influencers the way that we move this market is start to talk very, very bearish. Things like, I'm selling all of my Bitcoin. You need to start seeing posts like that. Now, whether or not you do it, it's up to you. But if you want to see the market move north, you have to talk bearish. You have to talk bad. You have to talk like Bitcoin's going to crash. Everyone needs to say it. Once the sentiment builds up that way, boom, there goes your market. This is the thing, guys. And this is what I want everyone to understand why Bitcoin is the perfect asset. It's because institutions don't know how to trade it. That's what makes it the perfect asset. They can't take advantage of you in the market as much as they used to when it comes to things like stocks and futures, options, all of that. So understand what we're saying here, right? In a lot of different ways, this is what makes it the most perfectly tradable asset, because guys aren't able to come in and just demolish you in a trade. Now, the brokers are going to do it either way, right? Because that's how they gain their liquidity. They're going to try to seek your stop loss, okay? And there's ways to avoid that, which we'll talk about. But as far as the institutions being involved with assisting in that, they're having a hard time doing it. They're getting stopped out themselves. They're getting put in positions that are bad themselves. They're sort of in the same position that we are in when it comes to trading Bitcoin, which is a good thing. All right, long story short. So let's just read a couple of blurbs here. We'll give some opinions on it and then we'll get out of here. Analysts remain unconvinced about the strength of the move owing to weak institutional demand and the cryptocurrency sensitivity to macro factors. So what they're seeing now is that countries are getting into Bitcoin. They don't know how that's going to work. They don't understand how the American government is going to regulate it, or how the Chinese government is going to continue to regulate it, right? So these are all macro factors that they can't really put their fingers on because they don't have anyone to call. If we don't have anyone to call, we can't get the inside scoop, so we don't know what's going to happen in the future. Simple as that, guys. Think about this from a very common sense perspective, right? Doesn't have to be complicated. There's no sign of an institutional pullback, which is key for a rally. Remember what we said. Price has to pull back. Price has to dip below to catch liquidity before it pushes higher. This is the entire play of the market that most people just don't see, right? If everyone's aiming for higher prices and we have equal lows set at 40K, it's got to break 40K before it can get to 50K, guys, or 60K. All right, that's the way that the market is designed to work, and they're telling you how it's designed to work right there. So far, we have recovered only 1 billion of inflows versus 4 billion that has left these products alone in January. Okay, so you're seeing the inflows are coming in. They're not the same as they were previously because people are getting wrecked in this market because they don't know the volatility cycles of Bitcoin yet. They don't understand the asset. BITL now holds less than 5,000 CME futures contracts for the first time since November, and its AUM has reached its lowest level since October 19th, signaling dwindling interest for BTC exposure to futures-based ETFs, Arcane Research said in last week's research note, referring to assets under management. Okay, they don't know how to trade it, so they're putting in less orders, guys. All right, what do you do when you're uncertain? You sit on the sideline. These guys are veterans. They know how to sit on the sideline. They don't have to trade today like all of us, right? We're so anxious to get to the chart. These guys can sit it out for months and trade other things, right? If we're involved in cryptocurrency, we have to understand that we are the drivers of our market in a way that no one else has ever been. So we drive these guys. We drive them through sentiment, right? In small actions that look like our sentiment is moving that way, and then we'll put them in a position that we can take advantage of. I think what most people don't understand is that we can really flip the script with this market if we wanted to, if there was cohesion, but that's yet to remain to be seen, okay? Last couple of sentences here and we'll get out of here. Institutions and large traders usually set market trends while retailers swim the tide, meaning they're going to push the market one way, we try to follow up. That's how we FOMO in and get wrecked every time. That's basically what they're saying there, right? Institutions' refusal to step in should cause concern to the bulls expecting a rally from the recently held psychological support level of 40K. But I told you guys how we could fix this. It's our sentiment. If everyone's thinking up, some people are they don't really know which way, then the institutions don't know which way either, right? Everyone has to turn bearish for the price to turn bullish. This is what we're looking at, right? And it's not just the fear and greed index, guys. It has to be more than that. It has to be Twitter, right? It has to be every outlet. It has to be every platform, okay? Which is why you'll see the price keep dropping to bring that sentiment in so that they can take advantage of it. If it's not real enough for you yet, let's see how real it is if price goes to 36 or back down to 30, right? I bet you the sentiment changes then, but then what will happen at that point, right? I'm sure you guys are catching on. They will push it up. That's how it will go, okay? Griffin Adderin, a volatility trader from Blowfin, a crypto asset management company, said traders might be better off betting on a volatility explosion by holding long positions in options than predicting and betting on where the price may be headed next. Maybe, maybe not, right? We said that the price should fall before it pushes up, so you can get caught in the wrong way there if you're betting options that expire, you know, when the price is down and you're thinking it's going to go up. So, you know, I would say be careful with that. And that's the thing that these guys can't really figure out, right? No one really knows the answer. And if anyone does tell you that they know the answer, they're lying to you. If institutions don't know, no one knows, guys. All right. Last little couple of points here, and then we'll go ahead and dive out. All right, CEC Capital, gosh, these names, man, foresees a retest of 40,000 should the cryptocurrency fail to establish a foothold above 43K this week and favors protective strategies to ensure against a possible deeper decline. Traders typically buy put options or sell futures as hedge against a long position in the spot market, right? So we're just trading on leverage, guys. We're not worried about what these guys are doing. And if they want to go ahead and jump into this market and trade with us, then come on, right? Because we want to take their money. And that's what we're here to do, okay? Ultimately, when it comes to this channel, we're trying to show you the strategies to take advantage of these guys' indecision, all right? And how do we do it? We do it in these sideways markets. We do it within these ranges based on market rules that they have to follow as well. Liquidity grab to the top or the bottom side, trying to fill in imbalance to rebalance the market within a range. That's the plays that are available, okay? And hopefully you catch the bottom of the range right at the time that price is going to launch up and go crazy, right? And that's the mega trade that you're looking for. You can start it from a small position, build it over time. And again, guys, discount premium zones. This is the way that we view the market when it comes to long-term hodling. And we're going to dive a lot deeper into Tensor Charts. I think that this is a tool that if we utilize this in the right way, we can scalp the market long, short, no matter what's happening. And we can make these plays relatively easy once we know what we're seeing here. All right, so tutorials coming on this soon. We're going to dive deeper into what we're seeing for some altcoins as well with some of this, because we do have a few tickers here that we can check out, including Link, Litecoin, Dogecoin, XRP, Cardano, ETH. So if you guys are looking for some insights there, we can definitely take a look deeper there. All right, so it's your boy Maestro. This is the long and short. Notice it's been a long video, but there's a lot to cover. We wanted to show you the play that we made. We wanted to show you the tools that we're using, the things that we're seeing in the news, and cover some altcoins today. So longer video required. All right. Other than that, guys, salute. Happy holidays. Hope everyone's safe. Go ahead and subscribe, man. If you like what you saw today, subscribe to the channel, like the video, share this with someone who you think could use this information as well. We're going to start really cutting through this market in a major way that people will start to pay attention to. I'm pretty sure of it. All right. Salute. We're out of here.